Yo, welcome to another vlog. It's your boy Big Brando. Today I'm going to be taking you guys with me to order some transfers from Supacolor. We're going to be doing some low melt transfers and also getting samples done with some Supa DTF. I'm going to place that order for you guys and kind of show you guys how I do it. Also, I'm going to be ordering samples from AS Color for one of my clients. And we're also going to be looking at some specialty items and placing an order for these mesh vests because one of my clients is in a gated community and they're doing a neighborhood watch kind of group, so they wanted to get a bunch of vests made. So I'm going to take you guys and show you guys exactly how I do this and where I order everything from. So let's get into it. All right, hopefully you guys can see this. Here I am on the S&S Activewear website. This is a third-party supplier that offers a lot of different blanks and companies here. So first thing I'm going to do is go up to the search bar and I'm just going to type in mesh vest. This is going to bring up all the mesh vests that they have. I'm looking for mesh vests for this gated communities neighborhood watch committee. So something that I'm looking for is like this, where it has a pocket, has a zipper. The wholesale price is $8.12, but this one looks like it has Velcro right here to close it. This one has a zipper. I kind of like the zipper a little bit better. They want orange, so let's make sure orange is in stock, and orange is in stock. So here's the inventory down here. Here's the pricing. So the way these things are set up is small and medium is one size, large and extra large is one size, and 2X to 3X is one size. These are $8.12. The 2X to 3X is $9.19. We're gonna have to order a ton of these, so let me look at the quantities. But these are the vests that I'm gonna go with. These are made by Kashigo single pocket zipper mesh class 2 vest. This is some different views. So right here is, I'm gonna have to be mindful of this area back here because these 3M strips that are coming down are gonna be different widths depending on the size. So we're gonna place a print right here in the middle, and then we're also gonna place a print right here on the pocket. The pocket looks like it's probably gonna be the same size for every size, but the spacing on the back is something that I'm gonna have to be careful about. So when I set up my gang sheet, I'm gonna make sure that my designs could land in the middle of that because I don't wanna print on the actual 3M strip. I just wanna print on the orange part of the vest. All right, here we are on the AS Color site. These are the men's t-shirts. You guys know I use the classic tee. To me, this is one of my favorite high quality premium blank t-shirts. It's $7.60 wholesale for the classic tee. Super clean shirt, but it does come with a premium price tag. What I'm looking for is their heavy faded stuff, like this right here. So these shirts are $10.50 a pop. Comes out with a tearaway label, and let's see what the color options are. So this is what the shirt looks like. That's mushroom, that's pink, oh, mushroom, pink, storm, powder, white. I'm gonna need some white actually. Bone is kind of like an off-white color. This one's more of a cream color. This one's called E-Crew, I think. Khaki, eucalyptus, indigo, gray. I'm gonna need gray. Brown looks kind of cool. Faded coal, I'm gonna need that. And this is their standard black. Actually, coal and black kind of look similar. But I'm gonna go with coal, I'm gonna go with gray, and I'm gonna go with white. I'm gonna order these samples for my client, and then hopefully we could kind of zero in on some colors that they want. But from our initial conversation, these are the colors that they were actually looking for. Once again, these things are $10.50 a piece. These are those heavy, boxy cut, faded, like pigment dyed, faded type shirts. This is what it looks like. These are their options on AS Color. You guys know I use them for a lot of my stuff. The good thing is these guys are located in Carson, which is close to me. So should be cool. Also, I need one of these. I'm gonna order this too. This is their Stone Wash Heavy Tee. Kind of has like that weird acid wash look. This is something the client wanted also, so I'm gonna order one of these so they could check it out. All right, check it out. We're in Photoshop here. This is how I set up my gang rolls when I send them to Supacolor. I download their template first. So this template right here is set up to 22 inches across by, I believe, 103 inches in length. That's my guess. I think that's what it comes out to. So I download this from their site. I open it up in Photoshop, and then I just start dragging and dropping all of my designs onto the template. I know this is sized correctly to their specifications because I downloaded it from their site. So I make sure all my designs are ready to go. I copy and paste them, drag and drop them, put them in here. So these are for a client. These are for a client. These are samples that I'm running for them. These are some center front prints. These are some left chest prints. These are some sleeve hits. I have extra space down here, a little extra space in here. These are my designs. So my designs are basically catching a free ride on this gang roll right here because there's extra space, and I'm running some samples for a collab that I'm doing with a surf photographer out here in the South Bay. Shout out to Brandon Oshiro, dope ass photographer. We're kind of working on a project together, so I wanted to run some samples for him just so we could get an idea of what things are going to look like. So these are mine. These are the clients. I'm going to be running, I think, 2 different gang rolls for the clients and for these samples. Same exact thing on the other gang roll. I'm going to be putting some of my own stuff on there just so I could get a bunch of different samples done on these gang rolls. Outside of that, we're also going to be doing some low melt transfers. So this is set up for 11.7 by, I think it's 16.5. These are going to be low melt transfers from Supacolor. Low melt transfers from Supacolor are for like delicate fabrics. Something like what I'm going to be using it for is like the mesh vests that are 100% polyester. Nylon jackets is another one. Nylon bags. Anything that you don't want to press with like too much heat, Supacolor makes this low melt transfer for. So I set this gang sheet up right here for the vest that I'm going to be doing. I have 2 big back prints, 1 small back print. I have 2 big left chest prints or over the pocket prints, and then I have a small one. The reason I did it this way is because the way that the sizing on the vests are, you have small, medium, you have large, extra large, and then you have 2X, 3X. Those are the 3 different sizes that they offer. And there's a 3M strip on the side of, on the back of the vest, or actually on the front of the vest too. But I'm limited on space due to the sizing. So large, extra large, and double X, triple X kind of have enough spacing so I could fit these back prints on. The small, medium, I'm gonna have to run a little bit smaller because of the size of the 3M strips. So that's why there's a few different sizes on here, but we're gonna be running a ton of these vests. So I ganged up as many as possible, and I'm gonna send these to Supacolor to get them printed up. So this is Supacolor's gang sheet for low melt. This is Supa's DTF transfers, a gang roll. And once again, this is sized to 22 inches by 103 inches. I download the template from the Supa site, and then I just drop it in here. It's blank, and then I just start sliding, copying, pasting, dragging and dropping all my designs onto this template. I save it as a PDF, high-res PDF, 300 DPI, CMYK, and then I send it off to Supacolor. All right, now that we got everything ordered up and ready to go, I wanted to kind of update you guys on what's been going on with myself. And I just got back from Oahu, like literally just got back. And I was there for the Silhouette Summit 2024. Once again, another dope year at this event. This is my 2nd year attending that thing. So shout out to Silhouette, shout out to Heat Press Nation for putting me on. I personally am kind of still floored, but not really surprised by now. But I'm one of the only t-shirt content creators that attends this thing. Majority of the content creators that are there are in the crafting space. I'm one of the only ones that solely only does t-shirts. Some of those crafters do t-shirts also, but they do a lot of other things with their silhouette machines that I don't. And maybe that's one of the reasons why I'm one of the only t-shirt content creators that's invited to this thing, is because they're bigger in the crafting space than they are in the t-shirt space. I don't know. But I went there this year thinking I was going to see some familiar faces like other t-shirt content creators. Nothing. It was exactly like it was last year. Last year, I expected the same thing, seen nobody I knew. This time, there was a few people that I met last year that were there this year, like the homie, Crafting by Myra. She was sitting on my table last year. She actually sat next to me last year. So I had a good conversation with her, and she was there again this year, but sitting on another table. I did get a chance to see her and say what's up in the demo room, but we weren't on the same table. This year, I sat on a table full of crafters again, and the crafters that I was sitting with was really dope to see and have conversations with, because it was a big eye-opener. So the lady that I was sitting next to, her name's Cheryl. She runs a blog, and I believe her social media handles are That's What She Said, and she is spelled C-H-E, like her name, Cheryl. But the conversation I had with her was eye-opening. She was telling me that all of the ladies in the crafting space, they get together throughout the year. Like, they're going to events together. They're hosting their own networking type of events. They're going to different states. They're doing so many different things together that I was blown away, because I was sitting next to this lady, Cheryl, and everybody was coming up, giving it up to her, hugging her, saying what's up, chopping it up. They knew about each other's personal lives. And I was just like, who the hell are you? In my head, I'm thinking like, who the hell are you? Like, everybody knows you here. And I was sitting next to her. So it was cool to get a chance to like get the insight on just the crafting space alone. And it's huge. Crafting, huge, way bigger than the t-shirt space. So the crafting ladies and the crafting just community alone, they host their own networking events. They host their own get-togethers, and they show up to these events, and they're all aware of each other because of how they network throughout their community. The t-shirt space doesn't do that. And the t-shirt space is kind of like, we'll see each other at trade shows here and there, but that's it. We don't really do much together as a community like they do. And it'd be dope if we did do something, and it might take somebody like myself or a few other content creators to get together and actually host something like that. But I think it's beneficial for the community, like getting together with like-minded people and sharing what you're working on, what you're doing, tips and tricks, giving the community as much information as possible. That was one of the big takeaways that I got this weekend from just talking to a lot of the crafters that were on my table, was understanding that their sense of community is way different than the t-shirt spaces. And I felt kind of dumb, because I'm like, yeah, I'm in the t-shirt space and there's a lot of us content creators here, but we don't do nothing like that. Or we see each other at, you know, trade shows and here and there, and that's it. And she was like, you guys don't attend like these things, or you guys don't, you know, host your own mixers, and you guys, and I was like, man, honestly, if people do, I'm not invited to those things, so I don't know if they're going on without me, but I am not aware of that kind of stuff. And she was like, you guys should really look into it, because you build the community up a lot bigger, but then it also gives the t-shirt content creator community a bigger voice than you guys already have. And it makes sense, because that Silhouette Summit was 99.9% crafters, and then me. I'm the 0.1% of the rest of the community that I was just there, kind of just like milling around and just amongst them, you know what I mean? So it was really dope to hear that and see that and understand and get a better, you know, look into their community. And the other person I was sitting next to, her name was Heidi. And same thing, she's in the crafting space. I forget, I think she was from Sacramento. I might be wrong. I might be getting her and Cheryl mixed up, or maybe Cheryl was from somewhere else and Heidi was from Sacramento. I don't know. But Heidi was dope as hell too, because it gave me a better chance to like talk to the content creators and really see how they create content and how they connect with their audience. Once again, I went there very unprepared. I thought I was prepared this time. I had my DJI camera, I was mic'd up, I brought my phone with the mics, and I was, you know, I thought I was like recording 2 different types of content and providing good audio. And once again, I wasn't doing shit compared to what these ladies were doing. First thing, I seen Heidi bust out the notepad that Silhouette gave us, and as the conference is going, she's just jotting down notes. Oh yeah, they're releasing this important dates. They're doing all of that, saying that. She's taking notes. The rest of my table taking notes. Me, not doing nothing. I'm just dumbfounded. I'm over here watching the show and I'm like, oh, that's cool, you know, and not taking notes, not doing nothing. I bust out my phone every now and then, but I didn't understand that they were taking notes. So when they create the content around it, they have all the information and they could bang away at the bullet points. I wasn't doing that. So watching them on how the crafters create their content was an eye-opener, but it was very enlightening for myself because it kind of motivated me and inspired me to have a better connection with my audience, the way that they do their audience. I'm pretty good at talking about, you know, t-shirts and stuff like that with the people, but I seen that they were really, really in tune with their audience, and I thought that was dope, man. And after the conference was done, they obviously launched a bunch of new products. One of the two big ones for myself was the Cameo Pro, or the Cameo 5 Pro, or the new Cameo Pro Mark II, I believe is the actual name, which is their 24-inch cutter. It's black. It also comes with a stand. I think that's dope. Do I like stands in my shop? Not so much. I got away from stands. And now my Cameo is right here on my desk. And let me see if I could show that. My Cameo is right here. And this is the Cameo Pro. So my Cameo Pro just lives on this desktop right here, and it makes sense for me. Having a stand, I used to have a big cutter on a stand and I got away from that because I like the smaller ones. Having the bigger cutter for myself now makes more sense because of EconoTransfer. EconoTransfer has bigger rolls of vinyl, bigger than 15 inches. When I used to buy vinyl from a lot of the other companies, I was only buying 15-inch rolls. EconoTransfer offers bigger rolls, and now what I'm doing is I'm just feeding the big rolls through my Cameo Pro, and it makes so much sense to me. Does that mean everybody needs to cut bigger rolls of vinyl? No, you can still cut down a EconoTransfer piece of vinyl to 15 inches or 12 inches and feed it through your regular, whatever cutter you have. For myself, having the bigger one makes a lot more sense because I could feed the EconoTransfer rolls whole through that thing and cut right off the roll. I like doing that because I cut so much puff and EconoReflect and stuff like that, and now I'm starting to cut a lot of this hairline stuff from EconoTransfer, so that's why I'm like really getting into the bigger cutter. A lot of people are like, well, you got away from the bigger cutter, then you went small, now you're going bigger. That's kind of true, but at the same exact time, it doesn't come with the same big price tag that the big cutters used to come with. I downsized to the smaller cutter because of 15-inch rolls of vinyl, and that's before I knew anything about EconoTransfer. And I don't even know when EconoTransfer first came around, but when I first started using them, it was for puff and it was for specialty stuff. Now that's mainly what I cut. I still cut regular vinyl, but I don't cut a lot of regular vinyl. I cut more puff and reflective vinyl. Like having the bigger cutter makes more sense to me. Does that mean I'm gonna get the stand and all that stuff? I don't know, because I like having the floor space and I have a table dedicated to having, you know, a cutter up here, but being able to drop like the big sheets into the net, that's always a plus. Like I said, cutting straight off the roll, big plus for myself. So it all depends. It's cool to see that Cameo is catering to people that are looking for the bigger cutters and with the stand, and still catering to the small size cutters, craft style cutters that are like made for the tabletops. So it's just having the option all the way around. You have to figure out what makes sense for your workspace. Don't just get the big cutter with the stand because you think you need it. If you don't need it, don't get it. Stick with the smaller cutter. My thing is the Cameo Pro that I have now, when I cut off the roll, sometimes the pinch rollers don't pinch good and it starts to skew, meaning like it'll start to turn the vinyl a little sideways and then jam up. So I'm forced to like cut smaller to make sure I don't run into that issue. Now, I made the lady in the demo room cut a full-size piece of vinyl all the way across to really utilize those rollers and see if things get skewed. One, way quieter cutter. Two, pinch rollers updated and they are a lot stronger, so you're not getting that weird like where it starts to get misaligned and stuff. Those are pluses for myself. I don't know if those are pluses for you, but for myself, That made sense for me. I'm glad I held out and didn't get the Cameo 5 because I was like hoping that they were gonna release a bigger size one, because like I said, I buy vinyl from EconoTransfer. They send bigger rolls. It doesn't make sense for me to have a smaller cutter with bigger rolls. I want just pure convenience of getting a bigger roll, put through a bigger cutter, bingo, in and out of there. The other plus is the Silhouette Studio software. Way more user-friendly than any other software cutter out there. I've had Roland's, I've had US cutters, I've had Graphtec's, I've had big cutters, small cutters. All of those softwares are not dummy friendly. Silhouette, dummy friendly. I'm dumb when it comes to this stuff. I don't want to have to learn a new software and learn how to do stuff. They make it very easy with, you know, their cool little crafting style icons. All that stuff is made for the home user, and I'm a home user, so that's why I prefer to use the Silhouette Cameo cutter platform, because it just works for me. Does that mean what you're using is bad and you need to upgrade to this or buy this? No, you buy what you feel comfortable using. This is what I feel comfortable using. Hopefully that makes sense. So that's why the Cameo Pro Mark II spoke to me, because they fixed a lot of the problems that I was having with my Cameo Pro, and I liked those upgrades for myself. The other thing they released was that crochet heat press. You guys probably seen it on my Instagram. That thing is cool. I don't know how I would use it in my shop, so I don't know if it's made for my shop. But as like a crafter or somebody that wanted to like press live in public, that to me makes sense. Or if you're operating out of your bedroom and maybe on your dresser and you don't have a lot of space, you could put a heat press right there. It's a space-saving thing. It looks cool. I just don't know how I would use it in, you know, my own personal shop. So that's probably not something I'd pick up, but I can see who it's catered to and I can see the intended use, which is kind of cool. For myself, it's probably not made for me. That's not something that I was like super geeked up about like the crafters were. The crafting ladies were going crazy because it came in like really cool, fun colors for the crafters. It was very compact and small. It only weighed 10 pounds. You pick it up with one hand. You could like basically put it in a box or in a crate or just throw it in the back of your car and you could go somewhere and start pressing. These ladies were talking about even pressing out of hotel rooms. Like they were like, the ideas were flowing for those ladies. For myself, I thought about it on the plane ride home. I don't know if I'd actually get one because I don't know what I would really use it for. And I don't need just more gear in my shop because I already have the presses that I use and I'm not pressing live in public anywhere, so I don't really know what I would use that for. So for me, probably not going to get one of those, but I can see why a lot of the crafting ladies or people that are trying to save space would be excited about something like that. My experience there was dope. The demo room was cool, and like I said, walking around that thing, showing everything, that's cool. For myself, the t-shirt side of me is just thinking about what makes sense for my shop. When I go to this event, that's what I'm thinking about. What makes sense to me? What's like an actual real life upgrade for myself? And would it be beneficial? Is it a good business justification to get rid of my Cameo Pro to upgrade to the new Cameo Pro Mark II? For myself, I think it's a good upgrade because it fixed the issues that I was having with mine, that now I can actually just cut and just, you know, get that thing going. The other plus is it cuts way quieter than this cutter right now. Does that make a big difference for anybody that's working in a loud shop? No. But for myself, if I'm editing videos and cutting at the same time or recording videos, I don't want that cutter like making all this noise and I can't multitask. This thing, I could 100% record videos and cut vinyl at the same exact time and not be bothered because it's quiet as hell when cutting. So that's a big plus for myself also, because obviously I record videos in this room and I cut vinyl in this room. I don't want to have to record a video or wait to finish cutting to record a video. I can do both at the same exact time, and to me, big plus. So do what you want with that information. Shout out to Silhouette for including myself and giving the t-shirt community a chance to be a part of the summit. And shout out to Heat Press Nation for always speaking my name when I'm not in the same room as them. They always put me on, and they're always looking out. So I appreciate that. I appreciate Heat Press Nation, and I really appreciate Silhouette for including me. Next year, if I'm invited again, I'll make sure that my production is way better. I take better notes, and I have a better understanding on how to create content in an environment like that, because I took so many mental notes from the crafters around me. Shout out to Cheryl, shout out to Myra, shout out to Heidi, and also shout out to the 2 girls that were from Utah. When I first sat on the table, I was by myself. Then 2 girls came and sat across from me, and they were from Utah. I don't remember their names. One of them did crafting and like hiking videos, I think, and then the other one did hiking videos and calligraphy or some kind of sign making, some kind of, I forget what it was, but what was dope was in the conference, they showed this like video montage, and I think they interviewed her and they were in her workspace and they showed some things she was working on. Super talented, really, really dope. I don't really remember their names. I think I have them on Instagram. I don't know if we exchanged that kind of information, but I'll go back and try to find them for you guys and leave every crafter that I met, their information in the description box. Check them out because 1, they did a better job at covering the summit and talking about the products, and 2, they make dope educational videos and also very entertaining videos. So check them out, and if there's any crafters that watch me, chances are you might already follow them. If not, check them out because they are super cool, man. I'm mad I'm not in the crafting space because the crafters got it going on, man. The t-shirt space, we need to step it up, all right? If you guys wanted to, follow me on Instagram, Big Brando TV. If you got questions, leave it in the comments for me. Catch you guys on the next one, man. Yeah.